I've been up and I've been down and I done seen it all. Was in the gym working my shot, now they pass me the ball. They never answer when I call, now I'm the one they call. I done been up and I've been down and I done seen it all. Crazy when you really gotta get it out the mud.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Rock Top Sports Talk. This is your boy, Coach Rice. Point blank, this is not going to be just a fun episode. I'm just going to go ahead and give it out there. It's a lot of blunt comments will be made. A lot of controversial comments will be made. There will be some calling for heads, some not calling for heads. There will be some. I'm on the one that I don't want Heupel fired because I don't think there's anybody else out there that can do a better job. At the same time, I don't think Coach Heupel's ever going to bring us a national championship. So I think that's where we are. I don't see it getting any better as far as getting to elite dominance. There's several people that think Tennessee can't ever get to that, and well, they don't want to be elite, I guess. I'm one of the fans that I'm not going to settle for mediocrity. It is what it is. I'm going to be always brutally honest about what I feel like Tennessee could do better. And it just is where that's the talking point we got to get to as a fan base. And if Tennessee's really going to get to the playoffs year after year after year, Coach Heupel is going to have to make some changes if he's going to be the guy. And the guy I was talking about is one of the guys we're going to mention probably several times in this podcast. So just sit back, get you a drink, get you supper, whatever you're doing right now, and listen to three guys come on here and rant about what Tennessee needs to do going forward to try to improve their status in the college football world. Hopefully next year, go up from 8-4, and Coach Heupel, if he's the guy, still next year makes the necessary changes, and we see an improved team next year. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get y'all to give us a thumbs up. Follow us on YouTube at Rock Top Sports Talk. Also, go follow us on Facebook at Rock Top Sports Talk. Follow us on Twitter, Rock Top Talks 1. That's where we post whenever we're going live, and then communicate with y'all there on that as well. So just try to do that. Try to get the show out there. We passed the 100 subscriber mark. So that's really good. We're going to try to keep moving forward, try to get it up to 200 or 300 by the end of the basketball season, and try to get it up to 500 by the end of baseball season. Hopefully, there's lots of change between may happen between there and now and then for the football team. So this will be the spot. We'll talk about it. But with that being said, let me bring on Big Mike and Rock Top Tom, and let's get this controversial, very blunt, negative show on the road. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Y'all recover. I was texting Amber, which I was telling her, I said it takes me normally about 6 hours to clean and clear from the game, and to be able to just kind of have a very clean mindset about what I want going forward with Tennessee football. And so in the first 6 hours, you don't want to talk to me. After the 6 hour mark, I'm going to have my mindset made up, what needs to happen. Obviously, I have no control over anything. That's a good thing for Tennessee football. But there's obvious several things that Tennessee football needs to do to get better at, whether it be Josh Heupel, whether it be not Josh Heupel. I know Tom's take, but let's So what, Big Mike, give me your first impressions after yesterday. Obviously, we don't have to talk about the game. I'm not here to really talk about the game. I'm here to talk about the end of the regular season, what we need to do moving forward. So give me your first thoughts, Big Mike.
Uh, hmm.
Yeah, it's about like that. I feel
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, in the intro song, it talks about I've been down, done seen it all. I thought I'd seen it all until that load of crap yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I won't talk about the game much. I really thought when we went up 21-14, I was like, okay, here we go. You know, this is fixing to be a shootout.
Yeah.
I had no idea that we would score 3 points the rest of the game. It was
Mm-hmm.
absolutely pathetic. Like, I wanted to vomit. Like, it was pretty. I mean, pathetic is the best word that I can use for it.
Yeah.
That's to put it nicely on here. I mean, that's sugarcoating it a little bit for me. Just pathetic.
Yeah. No, I mean that's about as good as you're going to get as far as being nice about the program right now.
Mhm.
So there's going to be some negative comments, and like I said, I hope in the chat there's some controversy because I mean that's what the show's about, being able to voice your opinion
And not get gaslit.
and not get gaslit and so hopefully we settle in and y'all enjoy the show and you know let's fill it out. That's the best way I'm gonna put it. Tom, go ahead, brother.
I had a sign that I had made for the show and I can't even find it now. The sign said fire Josh Heupel and Tim Banks. And it was a big bold letter sign. But that's how I feel right now. I know there's nobody better, at least that we think is better. But I mean, honestly, y'all, I hope there's a sliver of Tennessee fans that feel this way. There was something I heard earlier this year that really rang true for me, being of the opinion that I am about the coaching staff and the way that they've handled and wasted this year again. If you're going to do something anyway down the road, do it now.
Yeah.
And get it over with. That's just my opinion. Now, on the other hand, I can absolutely it's so screwed up. It's such a bad spot to be in. I can agree with what you said too, because there is nobody, like we were texting about it. There is no magic beans, you know. There's no person that can come in. Yeah, that was what I had. I wanted Alex Golish so bad, but he already signed with Arkansas, and that was probably a done deal.
He's Auburn.
Or
Memphis'
Auburn.
head coach is Arkansas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got that one wrong. I'm so pissed. I don't know which way is upside down.
I feel you.
But that was already probably a done deal a week or so ago. Auburn was going to jump on somebody, and Alex Golish was just, man.
Well, actually, Golish was the guy that Arkansas was going to hire. Like it was, I think he was close to signing a deal there.
Okay.
And then Auburn just kind of jumped in the fray like last minute, you know, all of a sudden, you know, when all these dominoes started falling and with a Kiffin to LSU and all that stuff. I mean, they got Golish and he ended up at Auburn. Yeah. So, but yeah, Arkansas was who he was going to a couple of days ago from what I read.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's a better, obviously in a better spot at Auburn, but continue going, Tom. I know you.
Well, there isn't really, like I was saying, there's no magic beans. There's fundamentals. There's fundamentals, and we had a really young team this year. We had a really young team even without Jermod McCoy and Ricky Gibson going down.
Yeah.
That was already going to be a really young team this year. But guess what? If you're playing at this level, there is no slacking off.
No,
look, I would kill to be able to go out in this jersey on one Saturday for one play, man. Just for one play, I would die afterwards. I'd be like, you know what? You can strike me down after I get my one play, because I'll have been able to do that. It's fundamentals. The coaching staff this year, just like 2 years ago, well, maybe not exactly like 2 years ago, but just the way that things fell in this year there's moments like the first quarter of the Georgia game that as a Vol fan, that made me feel great. And
Yeah.
I will be the first one to say, as I like realistic thinking about stuff.
Mhm.
I like realism, but I was very, very high on the team and the way they were performing, and they were shutting Georgia down. Like the whole for that quarter of football, I thought that this year was just going to be something wild and
Special.
spectacular. Yeah, something that I was not expecting. I said we could go 11-1 or we could go 5-7, and it depended on the offensive line. Well, as it turns out, it depended on a lot of other things with the offensive line too, but it just the fundamentals are not there a lot of the time. They're there when other guys on the other team make mistakes. I was looking at the stats earlier. How do you have a quarterback run for 165 yards, and that's without one of the, or that's including some of the sack yardage, and pass for 268, and we go 12 of 19 on third down, and they turned it over twice, and we got scores off of both of those turnovers. It's big plays, and it's consistency on their end, and it's a lack of consistency on our end. That's literally what that boils down to. If you look at a stat sheet like that and it's that out of whack, that's exactly what that means. It's big plays. And we lost to Vanderbilt, y'all. I'm at the bottom of the.
It's not even just lost to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
We got embarrassed by Vanderbilt.
Embarrassed. My little brother. Yeah.
They ran us out of the stadium.
Yeah.
Like fans were leaving at the end of the third quarter. Like it's bad to a nightmare. Like it's nightmarish to think what just happened transpired last night, and you know, or yesterday afternoon. Tennessee up till halftime. I told several people this yesterday through chat and stuff, and I said this is not looking good for Tennessee. For this game to be tied, the way the offense and defense was kind of going, and once Vanderbilt got that BS roughing the passer call, and they went in and scored there at the end, and I was like, there's something that in my gut this is not going to end well.
Yep.
And I just, from that point, I was like, we're fixing to lose. And at that point, I just thought we were just going to lose. It wasn't until midway through the third quarter that I was like, we're fixing to get blown out. Me and you and Joey and Michael were texting about it in the text saying this game fixing to get that bad. And like that team just quit. That's another thing that I'm pissed off about is the effort and the accountability on this roster and this coaching staff. The way they just quit in the third quarter, the lack of intensity. I just don't know what's changed between Coach Heupel in 21-22 to what he is now. And the only connection there is Alex Golesh. Was Alex Golesh that guy in the coaching staff that say, hey, we need to get our shit together and turn it around? Like there's other things, other videos that shows Alex Golesh has got that attitude and that fire that maybe this team really built off of. And so maybe that is it. And I'm not even talking about the play calling part. I'm just mainly talking about the attitude and the personality in the locker room that these players build off of and want to get better. Like that's the only thing I can think of is Alex Golesh. So I'm gonna let y'all build off of that. I got an emergency phone call, so y'all build off of that real quick.
It reminds me of when we got rid of Trooper Taylor. You remember years ago when they didn't give Trooper Taylor the money and hire him on to stay, and he left? That there's guys on coaching staffs, like your weightlifting coach, your whoever it's going to be, that they bring a team together as a coach under the coach. Unless your coach is that guy, your head coach. If he's that guy, that's great. Don't ever lose that guy. And Rodney Garner is one of the best. He's probably the best defensive line coach that you could ever hope for anywhere at any program. And he's a fire eater, but he's more of, it doesn't seem like he'd be the one to be in somebody's face on the sideline, really eating you up, like that. Yeah, I don't know what your thought is on that, but
Golish to me was that guy. Like, he was the guy that was in Heupel's ear. I think back when we had Hendon Hooker and stuff, we one of the sticking points that we've had this year a lot that we've talked about is our clock management and stuff like that. And I think Golish was in Heupel's ear a lot about the clock management and stuff like that. So I think that, like Coach said, I think that's one of the big differences that I've seen this year is it's totally changed, without somebody like that, to stay in Heupel's ear about. I think he's a guy that had a lot of fire. And just seems like right now we don't have that guy, and we need to find that guy again.
And the bad thing is, there's rumors that Alex Golish may be stealing Rodney Gardner from us and taking him back to Auburn. So if that's the case, you just lost your best coach on the coaching staff. So
that's one that I was about to say. That's one guy that we really need to keep or try our best to keep on our staff is Gardner.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think
everybody else can go.
Yeah, especially on the defensive staff. I just the secondary and DC. I would maybe give Inge another year because of the way he's recruiting and there's depth there. Perlotti is playing really good. I understand what Sam was talking about earlier, but Banks is the safeties coach, and our safeties have been awful for ever since he's been here. Heupel's been here, and so that I'm down for. Get rid, chop. I need a head on the platter for the secondary, the DC, the Angel. I'd give another year, and obviously Gardner. I'd keep, and then on the offensive side of the ball, I don't know. There's so much there on the offensive side of the ball that you're questioning, but you can't question 42.5 points a game or 42 points a game. And, where's the hidden mistakes there? Because obviously we go through spouts offensively that are just we're in a rut. But then we go through we have games like Georgia where you score 41 points. And so it's hit or miss. And so that just needs maybe me reinvestigated, trying to see where they can improve outside of just firing coaches. Now special teams, I want his tail out in two. We've done nothing but regress, excuse me, on special teams. And so it's very, very similar issues that several of us talk about. And obviously the defensive coordinator, Tim Banks, is the main one that his name gets thrown around. I'd even add in Willie Martinez and the special teams coach are the three names you hear often as far as the three names that need to be, changed going into this offseason. Let me catch up on the chat. I know I've posted them, but Sam said earlier, silly me, thought Tennessee players actually cared about Tennessee. Most shameful game I've ever watched. I feel that, especially that second half, man. That late third, fourth quarter, I was embarrassed as a Tennessee fan because that was pathetic. To let Pavia go out there and Heisman pose on your field after he talked all that shit about your program and that how they're going to do this and do this about Tennessee football, and just let him do it.
Yep.
It's just so frustrating. Let's see. Amber said, I covered my eyes multiple times during the game. I have to wear a paper bag. Yes, I'm right there with you. These kids are going to light me up tomorrow, and I'm going to have to chew some kids out tomorrow. Alabama's in the playoffs. No, well, they tell me they're quarterback. And then Sam says most rushing yards by Vandy in 23 years, and it was in Neyland.
Yeah.
What a disgrace. Yes.
Yeah. And we only had with that's taking sack yardage out of a rushing total is absolutely
regardless of any scheme issues or even losing the game. The fact is, 8 to 10 Vandy players didn't leave injured after disrespecting Tennessee prior to the game is shameful. Exactly. Exactly. It's a sad day on the hill for what happened. Just embarrassing. I don't care if Vanderbilt's good. I get it. They're a good squad. But the way they disrespected Tennessee and the way our talent is supposed to be composed, even though it's the youngest roster in the SEC, I get it. I don't care. It's a young roster. So what? You're supposed to be a super talented roster, and you're going up against a Vandy team at home who is your rivalry, and you just let them go in and waltz over all over Shibwaukins Field. Like I can't be okay with that as a Tennessee fan. I've been going back and forth on some people on Twitter today, and there's these sunshine pumpers and then these other people that, well, look where we were in 2020. I don't give two craps where we were in 2020. Kirksey, I get it. It's Indiana. I don't care what their schedule is. They're undefeated. They've been in the playoffs 2 years in a row. I guarantee you Lane Kiffin will be in the playoff next year at LSU. First year. I guarantee you he'll be in the playoff next year and have every opportunity to win the national championship next year. I don't care where we were in 2020. This is year 5, and I know college football is it's on a cycle. You got Alabama's did it for years. Georgia's has done it for years. Ohio State has done it for years. I don't want the cycle crap being brought up.
Yep.
That's neither here nor there. If you're a good coach, it's not rebuilding, it's reloading. And he's in year 5. He's had the recruiting classes. There's zero excuses for 8-4 and getting your butts embarrassed at Vandy.
Yeah.
I mean, against Vandy.
It's balls. It's balls. We got to have a coach that has balls and starts from the very beginning. This going back to 2007 when we lost to Wyoming for homecoming. Was it 2007 or 2008? I think it was 2008.
It's one of the 2 years. I think 8.
And Fuller's last year, going back to
the SEC championship.
Going back to that year. Oh, yeah. And then we lost to LSU.
Yeah.
That was a horrible game. But that's what I'm talking about. Like right there, what just happened, that is the mood that has been the mood in Tennessee with the exception of 2 years, and that's 2016 and 2022. And the 2016 team was absolutely wasted. Y'all, I'm telling you, when we're, 10 years down the road, we're going to be looking back at 2025 saying, man, that was a wasted team. Or last year, man, that was a wasted team. Like that, the amount of talent, like you're saying, is being wasted. It's bought. Look, I'm going to go even a little bit deeper on this and deep dive. Maybe not everybody that's going to be watching this or who knows me at this point knows what I feel about the whole recruiting with Nico and the rot and how it started with them buying Nico for $8 million over 4 years. That was the biggest contract in college sports to that point, wasn't it? That was the biggest one. And everybody's talking about, Tennessee's figured out how to use the money game. Tennessee's going to buy the team. And you know what? It made me sick from the very beginning. And players resent that kind of stuff. If you're not saying it, you still resent it on a certain level because it's just disgusting. I'm sorry. There's something in everybody that's going to be looking at something like that who knows this is wrong that they're buying players. It's wrong that they're professionalized in the first place. But that kind of feeling sets in. And then you have 23 as a completely wasted year. It was a burned year. It was like, we weren't expecting. The way they played, Look at
Yeah.
the way they played. Oh, well, they weren't expecting. Oh, well, they weren't expecting. All these talking heads saying, oh, well, we weren't really expecting. 8-4 is what we had picked anyway, you know. Well, there you go. There you go. When that's your attitude, and it sinks into every damn thing that you do. It
Yeah.
sinks into everything that you touch, and I hate to like Nick Saban, but when he said at that podium in the famous clip of him saying, you have to do it every day. You have to want to be elite, and you got to work for it every day, and you don't accept anything better, or
Yeah.
I'm sorry, anything less than literally being the baddest ass dude out there on the field and being a team and doing the things perfect. You want to do them perfect every time. And that's why the people who mimic that program and the way that they did it at such a sustained level for so long, that's why
Oregon, Georgia.
Georgia. That is exactly what Kirby – and look, I hate that bowl haircut little prick.
Yeah, easy.
But,
Yeah, I get
yeah. But I'm telling you, that dude has the least disciplined team in the world off the field, but they are an elite football program. They are
Most
an elite
disciplined team
football
on the
program,
football.
and they are the most disciplined team on the field, which is something I'm absolutely baffled and astounded by. I don't even understand how that's possible, and I hate it. It makes me sick. It makes me want to vomit. But we need to bring this full circle and to let y'all talk about. We need balls to walk into the room and say, look, you go back to the foundation of what Bob Nealon did in the late 20s, 30s, 40s, and into the 50s with just the excellent elite football that they're playing. And then you have sporadic patches of it ever since, but you don't have any sustained level. And in the last 25 years, it's literally just turned into a laughing stock. It is a laughing stock. We have the fumbles, the goal line, not running it in at the goal line against Alabama. Like, that is going to be on the top 10 worst Tennessee plays. You know, all the people that laugh and all the people that josh on us, that's the kind of crap that we're talking about. That's the kind of nightmare we've been living in that we got to break out of. And the only thing that breaks you out of that is having a pair and walking out there and say, you're going to be held accountable. You're going to take a better angle. Or you know what? If you don't take the better angle, we're going to put the next guy in and we're going to see if he does take a better angle. And if he does, I don't care how much we paid for you. You're going to sit and you're going to learn how to do it. That's only a
no, I'm right there with you. I mean, I think at some point accountability has to be the biggest take of action. I mean, it is what it is, and that's from top to bottom. That's Danny White to the managers on the football team. I mean, there's got to be accountability across this program, and you know, it's the only way for all these people that say Tennessee can't be elite consistently. Well, I hope one day Tennessee can get to that, just so I can show them that Tennessee. There's reasons why Tennessee has been in position to be in the playoffs because Coach Heupel, with his red flags that he has, he's done several great things to get Tennessee to a spot of being able to be in chances to win games, chances to be in the playoffs. That's great and all. But then you have these red flags that why I think Coach Heupel will never be the guy to get us to that point. But obviously, I think moving forward, Coach Heupel is going to be the guy next year. Big Mike, what do you want to see going into this offseason? Obviously, maintaining the recruiting class. I hope it don't fall apart. The biggest thing I saw is Tristan Keys flipping back to LSU as soon as Kiffin took the job. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm hoping that don't happen. But Big Mike, tell me what's something you want to see this offseason to kind of ride it out and get the momentum back going in the positive direction.
As far as Tristan Keys, I think with him signing his deal with Adidas, I think that kind of works in our favor.
Yeah.
With LSU being a Nike team.
Yeah.
I think him and Faison Brandon are big buddies. So I think maybe we'll keep Keys. I think we need to worry about maintaining our current roster. I've seen Braylon Staley's name out there. Not saying about him, entering the portal or nothing, but one, that we need to bring back in Orange next year are, Matthews and them. But as far as staff, um, I'm one of probably the unpopular opinion that I think Heupel can get us there, but I think wholesale changes need to be made. I think we need a defensive coordinator. I would love to see us go after DJ Durkin at Auburn. I would, as far as offense, I really would like to see us get a good play calling offensive coordinator, and for him to actually call the plays, and Heupel not be in charge of calling the plays on offense anymore, and him worry about head coaching stuff.
Yeah,
Like
I agree. That's something I've
him
been terrible.
him not calling the plays, like him having somebody that can call the plays that he trusts to call the plays, so he can worry about stuff like clock management and stuff like that. And as far as the other coaches, like you said, Gardner, I'd like to see us retain him. I know it might be hard with a Golish at Auburn and Gardner from coming from Auburn, but Ainge, I would like to see us retain him, and some of the others, like I don't know. I just, as far as big changes, I would like to see us get a different defensive coordinator and a good play calling offensive coordinator to take over the play calling duties.
Yeah, I'm right there with y'all. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I put Tennessee versus Florida review show. I fixed it. I guess I was so just my mind's been all over. I wish we played like we did against Florida,
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
it's that's where your mind gets, man. When you're frustrated and you got a lot of stuff on your mind, a lot of stuff you obviously want to talk about on this show. I text the guys. I say, "Hey, we're gonna try." I knew we couldn't keep it under 30 minutes, but the outlook of what Tennessee's future is everything. And for Tennessee to, the signing day is in 2 weeks. I don't know if y'all realize that signing day is in 2 weeks for this freshman class. And so that's massive. The transfer portal is going to open up here soon. People can enter the transfer portal. They just can't get, a message. I saw someone had messaged me that because Boo Carter had entered the transfer portal. He can enter you can enter the transfer portal at any time during the season. You just can't be contacted, although we know how that goes. But you can't be contacted until the date that the transfer portal opens. So that's the thing there. But I do want to apologize for the title. But it's fixed now. So, but Casey, I see you in the chat, bro. Welcome back. I'm glad to see you in the chat, man. I know you've been busy with work and stuff. Heupel will never fire a coach, in my opinion. That will be his downfall. Second that. Sam said it shouldn't even be Heupel's decision. If Danny White is a competent AD, he'd walk into his office and tell Josh he better make changes immediately. And Jason Swain, I talked to a buddy of mine that he has some connections a little bit, and he said that Jason Swain golfed with him at a golf course up there in Knoxville at one point, and said that statement has already been made from Danny White to Coach Heupel, is what Jason Swain told him. So I think we will see something in due time. They have their exit interviews with the coaching staff and the players and all that. So I think within the week you'll see some stuff some dominoes starting to fall. But to build off of what Big Mike just talked about, as far as what you want to see going into the offseason, given I know your take on the transfer portal and all the money issues, Tom, but just try to look over that, and what's your take on going into this offseason, what Tennessee has to do moving forward?
Yeah, we got to grow a pair before next year. Literally, the schedule, the last 3 seasons, I know there's some people who think, oh, well, we had one of the hardest schedules. No, the schedule the last 3 years has been cake, y'all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We've
Yeah.
had, and I know
Next
all
year's
3 of
gonna be
us are in lockstep
chaos.
on that one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And 2021 wasn't really that bad either, but 22, 23, and 24, well, 4 years. The schedule's been amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've had bye weeks at perfect moments. I want to see. I know our schedule is going to be brutal next year. We really do actually have a brutal schedule. I think this is the hardest schedule we've had since the year that Alabama, Georgia, and Florida were all in the top 10, and we played them. I think it was 5 weeks. We played top 5 teams or something like that, 3 of them all bing, bang, boom, and we had one game in between against Carolina or something. That's going to be the hardest schedule we've had in 20 years, something like that. It's going to be rough.
Which I love it. I do want to back that up. I want us to play a tough schedule. So I can really see how good our team is. If we lose games, we lose games. Obviously that coach isn't the guy. I want us to play a tough schedule so we could compete with the best and say we're the best, and not all this BS where you got fans saying, "Oh, look at what we did." Well, look at the schedule we played. So sorry to interrupt you, but
no, I totally agree, man. I'm 100% with you. The harder schedule you play and the better you do. It's like the referee thing. It's like when people want to gripe about the referees. When guys on my team I played with would want to gripe about the ref. What are you going to do about it? You going to gripe about it? You're going to go out there and you're going to win. You're going to be a bad SOB. I mean, you got to do it. And that's actually something I don't think we had talked about that quite yet, but that's a really good point. And I'm going to steal that talking point in the future when I'm arguing with people about the schedule. I want it to be tough for exactly the same reason what you said, because it's either going to make them or it's going to break them. And the sooner that it happens, in my mind, it's already happened. We lost to Arkansas last year. I was done with Heupel. I was like, look, no, this is inexcusable. 3rd season in a row, you had a team that you should have absolutely dog walked, and you just get embarrassed. Not just lose, but embarrassed. I want us to grow a pair in the offseason. I want us to I was arguing with somebody about this whole GM thing. I don't think we need a GM. I think we just need a pair. We need to know who we are. We ran the football so well for 4 years, and then this season, look, y'all, we without the sack yardage being taken out, which is stupid, we had just over 100 rush yards. We had like 115, 120, something like that. With the sack yardage, it's like 98. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Against Vanderbilt with 2 defensive linemen out, I mean, that's getting out schemed. Their defensive coordinator. So that comes down to having a pair. You got to grow them. You do. And it all does, like you said, it comes back to I have no faith or belief in the system the way that it is now with professionalization and the free agency and all that. But since we live in it, I'll go ahead and comment on it at least. Yeah. You got to do something in the offseason to shore up your corner situation, because you brought it up the other night, bro. Colton Hood's looking like, even though he took a horrible angle the other night, Colton, I love you to death, brother, but that angle on that, there was one angle I've never seen him get caught out of position.
Well, for one, he was 12 yards off the ball.
Yeah.
Thanks to scheme. Yeah.
But he's getting looked at. So, of course, you got Jermod and Ricky Gibson's probably coming back, we hope. I would think, unless he gets paid more and he's a free agent and he goes plays for Lane Kiffin at LSU or something stupid like that. But I mean, you could be looking at a completely depleted secondary, completely, except for guys who did not take good angles this year constantly. You're going to have to look at shoring up your I just had another, definitely not the tight end room, maybe some offensive line issues. I mean, because guys are not working out the way that we thought. Guys that we recruited 3 seasons ago, 3 cycles ago, that are not wet behind the ears anymore, are not playing well when they go in on the offensive line. The offensive line was a complete letdown for me this year, and I was so looking forward to a bunch of bad SOBs on the offensive line just bowling people over this year with the 3-headed tailback machine that we were supposed to have. That's a whole nother thing. We got to find our identity in the offseason and not just, hey, we're going to run the football. Well, no, Sherlock, we're going to run the ball. How are we going to run the ball? How are we going to do it consistently against a defense that's going to scheme against us like their defense schemed the other night? They knew at one point we had a first down on our own 40. It was the first wasted drive. It was after they had scored, and I said, we've got to score here. We got 5 yards on first down, and we hurried up to the line, and that defense knew because they had scouted us that we were going to run it and exactly where we were going to run it. Well, you know what? If you have an identity and you're driving the narrative and you're driving the initiative, that doesn't matter. You're going to go out and make a block. And dudes that are out there to kill you are going to go out there and they're going to kill you no matter whether you scheme them or whether you read their book or not, because you're going to run it right down their gullet and you're going to make them like it. It's the way you do things. It's the way you carry yourself. It's the way you practice. We got to start hitting in practice more. We got to go first team. And you know what? This is ironic because maybe our first team isn't very good against first team defense, whatever, but it's going to at least have something rise to the top, and whoever's left at the end of it's going to be ready to go. I mean, we got to do a lot. We got to
that without a doubt. And, just to move on to the point and talking about what we're looking at, because I really, like I said at the beginning, so I don't even want to talk about that BS game that happened here last night. I know it was a review show. This is a review show. Point blank, first half, you kind of, stayed in motion. You did what you thought we'd do. Second half, you quit. I don't want to talk about a team that quit and let a team that talk crap about you, who's supposedly your little brother, come in and just dominate you and have fans walking out of the stadium at the beginning of the fourth quarter because you don't know how to play aggressive, physical, intense football. And you let little brother just run all over you and talk crap while they were doing it. So, and if it was Pavia's way, they would have went down and scored again. And there's just so much that from that game that people that is just did not see that Tennessee team quit like they quit in that second half. You're blind. You're blind and you don't know football. If you did not see that team quit on Neyland Shield Watkins Field and be okay with it. If you're okay with it, you go do you go be a sunshine pumper. You go do whatever you want to do on Saturdays, but you're not I'm someone that demands respected football. There's a difference between going out and on the field and just playing a football game. And then there's a difference. I mean, a totally different way is going out and being elite and, doing what you're coached to do, doing, playing the game the right way. And I really don't know at the end of this statement of what I'm getting at, but I can't stand as a Tennessee Vol fan to go out like we did last night and just quit in the second half. That's the main part of my statement. And what Josh Heupel does with that, I don't know, but he better make some changes if he's going to be the guy moving forward. Big Mike, recruiting wise, transfer portal wise, what do you think we need to target this offseason? Obviously, the secondary, you're going to have some holes to fill. And then you have weaknesses on the team. I don't know where we're going to be at quarterback wise. Offensive line, I think we could, I don't know what the situation is with Lance Hurd. I think he is up in the air about coming back. Same thing with Wendell Moy. David Sanders obviously will be back, but I don't know what the situation is there. What else do you may target? What do you think personally we should do in the transfer portal this offseason? Be Mike.
Name your position.
Yeah. There you go.
I think we need to go after a quarterback. I think we're going to have holes to fill on the defensive line.
Yeah.
With Eason and them gone.
Jackson Moore. Yeah.
Definitely a corner.
Yeah.
Depending on Ricky Gibson's situation, safety. I mean, I think, and definitely offensive line. I mean, there's a few big positions I think we need to go after in the portal, and that we need to shore up. For sure. I think me and you had talked about it maybe in the last week or so about maybe going after Sam Leavitt, the quarterback that's entering from Arizona State. They were talking about he would be a good fit for Heupel's offense.
Yeah. I love Sam Leavitt in this offense, and I think there will be other guys. And just to build off your point, I know you said name your position, but obviously secondary is going to be key. You're going to have corners you're going to have to replace. I thought Ty Redmond drastically improved as the season went on, so you got that you can kind of lean on. I don't know the situation is with Ricky Gibson. Obviously, Colton Hood, Jamal McCoy looking at going pro. Safety is the primary position that I'm circling with a massive circle this offseason, especially when Tim Banks gets his ass kicked out the door. Is circling that position. We have to get more athletic at that position. We have to be more physical at this position. We got to have someone that can go make plays and not let a quarterback and a tight end gash your safeties like they did Andre Turrentine last night and just make him look like he was running in tar. Like, I just don't know why the reasoning why we can't recruit elite safeties and why we can't target them in the transfer portal. Like, it's year after year after year. And I don't understand that. That's a main position I want to circle. Obviously, I agree with you, Big Mike, as far as the defensive line. You're going to have some holes you got to replace. Tyree West, Jackson Moy, Bryson Eason, Dominique Bailey are all going to be gone. So you got to fill some holes there. Linebacker, I like where we are kind of at linebacker. I know Sam's going to disagree with it, but I think you get another year of those guys growing together. And then offensively, I think you got to go get another running back. I want to say this, but I don't think Peyton Lewis is the guy. I wish he was, but I don't think he is. Secondly, I don't think Deshaun Bishop can be a guy that, like, obviously he's great. I'm not saying he's not great, but we have to have a two-man rotation at least. And is DeWanye Morris going to be that second guy next year? I don't know if he'll be ready. I think he can be a great, rotational guy, but I think you got to go get another elite running back in the portal. And quarterback, Mike, I know you talked about it. I know we kind of mentioned Sam Leavitt. He's going to be probably the most expensive dude in the portal this offseason.
You bringing up quarterback. There's a lot of talk about. Just want your guys' opinion on this. There's talk about Aguilar getting another year of eligibility. Do we really want that?
I don't. I know Tom don't either. I don't, because I don't, and it's the same reason Tom is. I'm sick and tired of 24 and 25-year-olds getting the option and say, hey, so what? Yeah. Let's break all the rules. Let's just change the whole rules and let's go compete with 18-year-olds and not give them the opportunity to get their chance to rise and shine. Yeah. What's GMAC supposed to do? If I was GMAC in that situation, I'd give a big old FU and walk out the door.
Bye.
I love what Aguilar brought to our offense this year at times. But I just think, I think 1 year was enough. I think, we need to move on from that.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been a huge blessing to have had him for another season. you can never squeeze the toothpaste back in the tube of time or whatever. But as far as if we had him, this was his second year, that would have been something tremendous.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
I agree.
But you're exactly right. We're in lockstep on that one. This whole 24-year-old, 25-year-old, and in some places 26-year-old kids, guys, grown men playing with 18-year-old kids coming out of high school. It's sick, man. It's sick. Yeah. And you know what? To be real, I hope there's somebody that can identify with this. We, as Tennessee fans, can all identify with this. The repetitive banging your head up against the wall because you love Tennessee. We all are here because we love Tennessee.
Yeah.
We love Tennessee more than anything, and we want them to be successful. We may differ on how we think they are going to get there, but this one thing keeps coming back to me. The last 6 years since they've been doing this pay for play crap, it's taken the joy even out of winning. The pride, man, the pride out of
NFL.
Yeah. And what he was saying, you know, there is a world in which I would want Joey Aguilar to come back and play but it ain't this world. It's not this one. I don't want him coming back, and it's not because I don't like him. He played his all for Tennessee, man. He might have hand to the sky. That dude probably would only really want back maybe 5 throws all year. You know, I mean, he really did play his all for Tennessee, and I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, because he's probably one of the few. Well, let's be real. Let's be real here. He's probably one of the few on the team all year, with guys like AC, with guys like Deshaun Bishop, who are from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Who really and Ty Redmond came so far this year, and you can see that he put the work in. And guys like Devin Hobbs, who had to come back from injury, and it's like, man, playing that is not always the case anymore. It's not even close to being the rule. It's the exception now, and it sucks because you got guys that need to want to put it all out there, but they don't have to, because this is their pro. This is their pro league, and they know good and well that they're not going to make it. They might not even get drafted into the NFL. If they do get drafted into the NFL, they do go to the upper age league, is what I'll start calling it now, because this is the collegiate professional age. They don't have to. And there are some guys, Boo being one of them, got dismissed because he wasn't doing it. But what do you do with the other guys that aren't blatantly not doing it? They're just kind of not giving as much as they could. You know, that's going back to the got to have balls thing, you know.
Yeah.
You got to grow them. Got to grow them. But,
Well, I mean, for one, Lane Kiffin just took the job at LSU. We ain't got to worry about that anymore. I think the only place that Coach Heupel's kind of getting rumored is Penn State. And so we'll see where that goes. But no, Nico, no, hell no. I mean, he could come for free, and I would tell him to go back. So
I'd pay for him to go back again.
I'll pay for him to go back. So there's so many things that in the transfer portal that you can mask inefficiencies. And my main point is, I want Coach Heupel and company be more aggressive. Don't set yourself to such a small board. Go out, look at the board. Go get who would help us get better, especially in positions of need, and don't limit yourself to how good you can be, because I think that's some of the times that's what they do. They have these small set of guys and they get them, but I think they could go target more guys. I know that's all about money.
Yeah.
But in today's world, you better have a lot of money. I mean, look at Texas Tech. There's a reason why I get it. They're in the Big 12. It is what it is. But they went out and spent crap tons of money in the portal this offseason. Look where they're at.
Yep.
I mean, that's the fine point there. Look at Ohio State. You go get guys like I know this was 2 years ago, but like Caleb Downs and other guys.
Yeah.
They're going for the world. Oregon is had the replace a lot last year. Look at where they're at. And I know it's Big Ten versus SEC. You got all those comparisons. I know SEC is deeper and tougher, but from top to bottom. But I think when you get to where Tennessee is right now, we just finished the season 8-4. We're coming off at year 5 of Coach Heupel. He made it to the playoffs last year, not because of his offense, but because of the defense and Dylan Sampson. The defense obviously regressed tremendously this year, so much so that we want Tim Banks fired, as he should be. And so that we had one solid defense 1 out of 5 years. We've had a solid offense 3 out of 5 years. We had an average offense the other 2 years. So out of those 5 years, where are we competent and playing complementary football during those 5 years? Not a single one of the 5 years. Last year would actually be the closest year where we played complementary football. And obviously we made the playoffs. That's why. Wonder that. But there's the statement that we can't get better. That's BS.
Yeah.
If you're a Tennessee fan and you don't want to be better than where we are right now, then what are you even a Tennessee fan for? You just a Tennessee fan because you want to say you're a Tennessee fan? I want championships. I want SEC appearances, at championship appearances. Kalen DeBoer, I get it. He's at Alabama. He took over from Nick Saban. Year 2, he's in the SEC championship. Year 2.
With road games against Tennessee.
Point that we got to get. What's the next point in the cycle that we have to take to get to that point where we're consistently trying to get to SEC championships and playoffs year after year, not 8-4, getting embarrassed and smacked in the face by Vanderbilt and talk crap to all season, saying we're going to dominate you. And what they do, they went out and did it. Michael, what? I mean, what's the next move? I mean, I don't know. Obviously, we've talked about Tim Banks, but what's the next move, man?
I want to see. I know Tom talked about growing a pair. We need that, but I want to say Heupel. I don't know how to put this. I want to say Heupel act like he cares.
Yeah.
Like I watched this press conference and I know he did say, that this is not, the standard of what we expect at Tennessee football, but the rest of his press conference just seemed not like nonchalant. He was up there smacking his gum and just had people asking him questions and he was just kind of, almost like a whatever, we got to do this or got to do that. I want to say somebody that's pissed off, after what happened yesterday. I want to say somebody that wants to, do whatever it takes to get better,
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah, man.
I think we're all kind of all three on the same, circle. I think all three want Tim Banks fired. We all want other changes. I think Tom obviously wants to move on from Josh Heupel, but he also realizes that there's not much out there to fix the situation. So it's either Heupel and picks up gets a pair and makes the changes he needs to make and improve this program, or it's a falling ship. It's a sinking ship. And it's just a time waiting for the time the explosion to happen.
Well, my thing is right now, if you did move on from Heupel, where are you going?
Which sucks.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'd put a cinder block out there with a radio on, and rather have the cinder block play as head coach. I'm serious. Like I know that sounds stupid to some people, but at a certain point, when things continually regress, not just stay the same, but regress, at a certain point in my mind, I'd set my watch out there and I'd be like, hey, look, this watch is going to sit on the sideline and it's going to be head coach. Just put my watch out there and let the watch be the head coach for a little while. I mean, because what are we doing? What are we doing? Like that you just brought up the presser. I have to turn his pressers off because I can't listen to it anymore. It's the same stuff. And you know what's even more ironic about that is Philip Fulmer, for all the harm that he did to the university with being the snake in the grass with Majors and then being another snake in the grass doing some of the crooked stuff that was going on while Pruitt was here, and he knew about it. Don't people know he knew about it. There's no way he didn't know about it. He's the AD, and if he didn't know about it, then shame on him. He left. He resigned his position as coach because he knew that he had lost it. He knew that he'd lost the locker room, and he wanted us to move on and say, hey, look, this needs to be better, and it can be better. And you know what is ironic? It hadn't been better, but for maybe 2 or 3 seasons total since that day in 2008 that he apologized to the fan. That man went out there and apologized to the fan base and said, this is unacceptable. And you know what? We demand better and we want better for the University of Tennessee because
some of us do.
Yeah, some of us. Yeah,
some
for sure.
of us are perfectly okay with going 8-4,
selling the product. Selling the product.
Yeah.
And that's
we're 8-4. We can't be elite. We go to a playoff once every 6 years. Okay, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Well, I go ahead and tell you, these 3 in this circle or triangle right here are not okay with that.
Yeah.
All 3 of us want SEC championships or at least appearances, and then playoffs every other year, at least. I mean, I'm sick of the notion that Tennessee can't be elite. Tennessee can be elite. We're in a breeding ground of future college football players. It's all around our state. You got a coach that goes out there and knows how to coach and does clock management right, does discipline right, and holds his players and roster accountable and his coaches accountable for their lack of, being excellent. Then where are we?
Yep.
Like I shouldn't have to say this because it's a Tennessee fan, but I expect championships. I can't settle for less. I will not settle for less. It may not happen every year. It may not. I mean, that should be the goal. That should be the standard. I mean, if
there is no other mindset.
If we're not striving for that, what are we doing?
Yeah. They're selling a product. There's a world right now where I feel you, man. I agree with you 100%. And where I think we are is that, and this is just my opinion, but where I think we are, it all ties back to the marketing money. It ties back to the narratives about selling things. You can see it with guys that used to have shows. Like I still watch JD. I think a lot of us probably watch JD, but you can see how he's changed to selling a certain view, a certain way. Hey, look, we're here so that we can market a product. Okay. That is a change. There is not marketing a product, wanting to be a badass football program, wanting to be a badass athletic department because you want it for the University of Tennessee. And then on the other side where you just nailed it, you're 8-4. But guess what? We're still going to spin it into cloth because we're going to try to make sunshine out of dog crap because that's what we're going to try to sell it. We're going to try to sell it, package it, sell it, put orange, put the Power T on it. And guess what? It's a product. Well, you know what? The product stinks right now. Yeah. And that's where I think we are. There's 2 worlds. Yeah. There's you're going to try to market crap and you're going to put dog poop in a bag and you're going to try and put a Power T on it and say, this is the best thing since French bread. And then on the other side, you're going to have guys that are getting up 5 o'clock in the morning. They're going to play for Tennessee every morning. When they go to the weight room, they eat right, they carry themselves the right way, they have respect for themselves, and they want it, and they're going to earn it, and they're going to go out on the field on Saturday, and they're not going to quit against Vanderbilt because it's not what you do. Yeah. That's
Big Mike, build off of that. What were you supposed to say? You were supposed to say something.
No, that I was just pointing at, because I agree with what Tom was saying about just marketing crap. I mean, just trying to sell it, and that's the hard truth right now. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, it's both of what you're saying are it's exactly the problem. I mean, they're marketing right now. I can see it now. Oh, we're fit to go to a Gator Bowl. We're going to go beat some pansy Big Ten team or ACC team, and we're going to go 9-4. Well, yes, I predicted 9-3 at the beginning of the season. That's what people in the chat were talking to me about. Not this chat, another chat. Yes, I predicted 9-3, but I predicted 9-3 to lose to a close game against Alabama at Alabama, lose to a very good Georgia team, and lose to either Oklahoma or Florida when Florida was thought to be a really good team at the beginning of the season.
For sure.
Not lose because you screwed yourself against Georgia where you were up the whole game, not get embarrassed and out-disciplined and out-coached against Alabama when obviously – in that game, you could have came out that game with a win. And then Vanderbilt, don't even get me going.
Yep.
Oklahoma, don't even get me going. You literally didn't show up in two halves at home. At home. You didn't show up. And then and to go back to last week against Florida, I can see it, the repetition. You didn't score a single point against Florida in the second half. That just led into what we saw this week because you weren't taking the second half serious. You could see the players took their foot off the gas. They weren't being serious and have that intensity that they had in the first half. Well, that's coaching. That's you can't recruit that to be on your team, and then B, you can't settle for that to be okay.
Exactly.
And I'm just sick of it. I'm not saying obviously, and that's another thing I was getting into it with people on Twitter. I don't want Coach Heupel fired. I don't want him gone because I don't think we could do any better than where we're at right now. But I also will come out and say Coach Heupel's not going to be the guy. He won't ever get us to a national championship because of the way he coaches and the undisciplined nature of which his teams have. And just certain aspects and certain red flags that just circle around his teams. And so I don't know where to go. Obviously, I think the main thing is look at this recruiting class that's coming in or fixing to happen, the signing class and the transfer portal. You go back and then obviously make coaching changes. You do those three things, you focus on those three things. Then after the offseason, let's reevaluate. We'll see where we're at. But as of right now, I will tell you point blank, Heupel's not going to be ever going to be the guy, and we're never going to get a national championship or to an SEC championship while he's the head coach at the University of Tennessee. I hate saying that because I'm a Tennessee fan. I want them to be successful, but I'm open and honest and real that I as a Tennessee fan can see the red flags and say Heupel's not going to be the guy to get us to a national championship.
And we got to acknowledge something else because there's been a lot of disagreement among our fan base for 25 years now. Since we lost that SEC rematch to LSU in 2001, our fan base has pretty much been divided over how we lost that game, how it started a downward trajectory for Tennessee football. We got to acknowledge something here. And I'm pretty sure, maybe not with Mike yet, but when we've texted about these things, it's because you know or you don't that you're willing to say something like that. And I got that. That's a heck of a position to be in, but I agree with you. Because you just know things about football that's like, okay, well, you know what? Not everything in life is like this, but at least in this, most of the time, like 90+%, if it hadn't happened and the recipe's been there, you just hadn't put it together, or maybe the recipe wasn't even there the first year you were there, you were just trying to hang on by your toenails. I get that. But the trajectory looking forward, bro, the way we lost to South Carolina on the road, the way we lost to Missouri 2 years ago, the way we lost to Arkansas last year, the way we lost, like it's the way it's happening every single time, not getting any better. I completely agree with you. I don't think he's going to be the one to do it. I hope there's a caveat to that, and I know you agree with this. I know, Mike, you're in on this one too. If you don't think that he's the guy, which I'm not speaking for you, Mike, but as a generic statement for Tennessee fans, if you don't think Heupel's the guy, there is always the positive note of hope that, hey, we all damn well hope that he could turn into the guy.
Yeah.
Hey, there's always that. He could turn around tomorrow and read Football for Dummies, and then he comes out next year and he's firing on all cylinders and saying, you know what? We sharpened this thing down to a razor's edge, fellas. We're done with the sloppy crap. We're done with the bad pressers. We're done with the bad discipline in practice. We're done with the stupid mistakes on the field. We're done with not caring in the second half. I mean, and next year's the year to do it. Wouldn't that be something special? Wouldn't that be something incredible on a positive note if they go out against the schedule that they got next year and make the playoff? I mean, wouldn't that just be incredible? That would just
and that's what
for sure.
And I'm going to let Mike speak on this.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what I expect. And Coach Heupel is going to be the guy next year. I fully, unless for some reason he goes to Penn State, I don't think he's going anywhere.
He ain't going to Penn State. Yeah.
If he goes and makes the changes needed and evaluates and hits in the transfer portal, and this recruiting class that's coming in is great, then yes, I think we could go to the playoffs next year and do positive things. But that will not happen if he doesn't make the changes needed, grows a pair of balls, and gets rid of some of his friends and all that. Because I go ahead and tell you, that schedule next year, we will be 4-8 or 5-7 at the end of next year if he don't make the changes needed. Because the roster and the coaching staff does not have the makeup to go through that tough a schedule to have a successful season. I'm just that's where I am. Big Mike, do you just point blank? Do you think Heupel's the guy?
Man, I still have hope, but I think, you took the words out of my mouth pretty much, hit the nail on the head. I think it's contingent on what he does next year and the changes that he's willing to make in the offseason this year. I think he really needs to be careful about who he hires. If he's going to make the changes, I think he needs to be careful about who he brings in.
Yeah.
What they're about. They need to understand what Tennessee football is about, what we expect. And I think if he makes the right changes, I think he could be but like I said, I think it's for me personally, it's going to be contingent on what he does this next year and the kind of changes he makes. Before I'm just ready to say, let's move on. I think we need to see what kind of changes he'll make and see where we go from there.
Yeah, I think. What's up, Lynn? D-Train, we got a couple new guys in the chat. D-Train, I saw you in the chat as well. Appreciate y'all for coming on and joining the show. This show it just started this year, where it's a up and coming show. We actually just got to 100 subscribers. We appreciate all y'all tuning in. I know this is a little I hate to say it, a negative show. It's a very impactful and honest show. All three of us are going to be brutally honest about our opinions, and we're going to vocalize them. That's just who all three of us are. I think the best thing for us as a Tennessee fan base is to just wait and see at this point. Obviously, we vocalized the majority of the Tennessee fans that our displeasurement with Tim Banks and this defense. I think there's certain complaints that are rightfully true about Josh Heupel and the red flags that he has, but all three of us have came on here and said we agree that Josh Heupel is going to be the guy next season. What he does this offseason influences what he does going forward, if he's going to be the guy after next year or not. Because if he doesn't make any changes, I'm telling you 5-7 is what's going to happen. And the Josh Heupel tenure will be over after next year. I hope it don't happen. That's the last thing I want to happen. I hope he makes the changes. He hits in the portal. We go 10-2, make the playoffs, and Josh Heupel goes and does great things. I want that to happen, but all three of us will say if he doesn't, that's not going to be the case. So, Tom, I know we're kind of flowing right now. Defensively, if we were to bring a guy in and Tim Banks ain't that guy, what do you want to see with that new defensive coordinator hire or someone that we target? Obviously, it's going to be someone that my two guys that I'm looking at and squaring straight in the eye is DJ Durkin at Auburn and Blake Baker at LSU, the two DCs that those two schools.
Those are two great ideas.
Those are my after kicking Tim Banks' ass out the door. Those would be the first two guys that I look at. Say, hey, I need you to come make this defense the standard at Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Heupel talked about last year at the beginning of the year. I need you to come make that year after year.
I don't know if Nate Dryland from Oklahoma is available, but I'd take him too. He's really the only guy I'd add to that list. That's literally it. Because I don't keep up with DCs very much. Like that's not really my realm. But I'll tell you, and I know Brent Venables has his influence on the defense at Oklahoma because he's literally the defensive coordinator genius that he is, and he really is. I mean, he's great. And if Brent Venables, if you're watching, you want to come be Tennessee's defensive coordinator next year, I'd love to have you. But, that ain't happening. But whoever it is, man, they got to connect with the guys on a real level. Not this. Look, Tim Banks doesn't seem to me like he's a fire eater. Okay. That's the first thing that I get as an impression of him. He seems very nonchalant, very, maybe he's not reserved. I don't know, but he seems very reserved, very quiet type, not the type to get up in your face.
Yeah.
And you know what? A football coach needs that fire in him.
Yeah.
You really do, especially if you're dealing with collegiate age professional athletes now, because that's literally what they are. You know what? I just had an idea or a thought. You know how college coaches that made the jump to the league in the past before they professionalized collegiate football, they said it's just different. You can't tell a 40-year-old, 35-year-old, 30-year-old, 28-year-old man what to do because they're just not going to click with you on a certain level if you go out there and that's what you're trying to do. That's why Saban wasn't a good NFL coach. That's why Steve Spurrier wasn't a good NFL football coach. The list is endless.
Yeah.
That's what they're dealing with now.
Yeah.
If you can make that transition and you can do that, then you can absolutely make your way. And if you can't, you can't, and that's it. So whoever it is that's going to be the DC, I really, really hope with everything that I am that it's not Tim Banks next season. Because if Tim Banks are DC, I don't even know what
another name I'd add, which I don't think he would leave Oregon, but I'd add Oregon's DC as well to that list. Which I don't think he would leave there, but
I think he needs to be quick about it.
Because he's definitely got to be quick about it
because the market's going to be really competitive with all the new head coaches in the SEC. I think there's going to be a lot of moving around. I think he needs to, if he's going to do something, he needs to do it quick. If he's got somebody in mind.
Yeah. Tom, am I still going in and out?
It was. I don't know if it's just me.
Mike,
is it just me?
Was I going in and out on your end too?
No, I'm good.
Okay,
okay.
Well,
then it's just me.
All right, Sam, what's up, brother? I know.
Tough day.
You're right there with us in this this fight against Sunshine Pumping, but what's your thoughts, man? I know me and you we kind of talked about it a little bit in the chat. It was a tough day yesterday, man. What's your thoughts?
I just never thought I could see a Tennessee team that Vanderbilt talked about them. They said, we're going to run your state.
Yeah.
There's no state pride on that team, no university pride. They let them do whatever they wanted. Do you even have to be a good defensive coordinator to know that the dude keeps running right up the middle
Yep.
and to put someone there? There were a couple runs where there wasn't anyone within 20 yards. You
Yeah.
couldn't find a Tennessee player on the screen. But no, that game, it was terrible to watch. I've never felt more shame
Yeah.
for a Tennessee Vanderbilt game. But at the end of it, I thought that was so bad that it's going to force change.
Yeah.
Because the people that give money, the big boosters, they're not going to accept what they saw on the defensive side all year long. Like I said in previous shows, Tim Banks has had one decent year as a defense. We played 2 offenses last year, and they ran right up and down the field on us. And Tim Banks had no answer, even with dudes. He's not the guy. He doesn't recruit. He doesn't speak in press conferences. He's a complete unknown person. And
I'm right there with
mean,
you.
why was Perlotti not in the game the whole time? He's the one dude that can fly around.
Yeah.
But
I'm right there with you.
no, but like I said in the chat, it would not be. I know Heupel's not going to want to fire someone because of how he got fired at Oklahoma. It's not going to be his decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not. There's too much money in this stuff. There's too much. I've listened to Basilio's post game the whole time, and it's people that saying I'm not renewing my season tickets. If Banks is coming back, I'm not renewing my season tickets. They're in a new reality. If they think that people are going to go pay $400 for one ticket to watch Tim Banks let people do the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah.
I actually don't think it's too hard of a fix. You go get a firebrand defensive coordinator. I want DJ Durkin because he also had head coaching experience.
Yeah.
Get him in here. Let him bring whoever he thinks he needs to coach position groups. Go spend a bunch of money in the portal on the defensive side. And I think you could have a really good team next year. I really do. Because this offense actually played really well this year when they weren't behind or we always seem to make mistakes whenever there's like a sense in the air that the defense is about to give up 14 points. They press, they don't play call correctly. I would actually rather see an offense somewhat more like last year with a heck of a defense. I mean, let's just say last year Nico could throw a deep ball. I mean, how good
we're undefeated last year then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd beat Alabama by 28 points.
We would have beat Alabama and Arkansas for sure. Maybe not Georgia, but we would at least beat yeah, I'm right there with you.
So but yeah, that game was so bad that it's going to absolutely force change.
Yeah.
And Josh Heupel's he's not going to be able to say, no, I'm keeping the same guys. It's not going to happen. Those guys that give money, they'll say, no, I'm not paying. We've got $4 million parked on the bench of people that didn't play due to injury or whatever. Imagine you're the person that wrote the check for $700,000 or whatever for Boo Carter. How happy would you be right now?
Yeah.
I'd say unless you make changes, you're not getting one more penny off me.
Yeah. Yeah. I even think about that. I thought about the Jamal McCoy situation there and Ricky Gibson, which those are injuries. I can understand injuries. That's not their fault. It's out of their control. Obviously, they still got to get paid because that's a lawsuit waiting to happen if they didn't. But like the Boo Carter situation and other like Nico pre all that, you better get your evaluation in these high school players when they're coming to Tennessee. You better A+ hit on them, or like you're going to keep hitting them, having these situations because evidently it's the type of guy Coach Heupel's recruiting, and I just can't. I'm with you on that, Sam. These boosters and these fans are not going to keep putting up with it. And I think Danny White, even though he is boneheaded and just doesn't care about our money side of it, I think he is smart enough to say, "Hey, Coach Heupel, that's not going to fly."
Mm-hmm.
He may not be on the money side from the fan side of it, but as far as the winning side of it, I think Danny White does kind of get it. But yeah, I
What's
think
the
they
quickest
definitely got
way?
some changes.
The quickest way to lose money in the athletic department is
It's
field a
not right.
bad football team
Yep.
for a couple
Yeah.
years in a row.
Yep.
And the best way to motivate Mr. Moneybags over there is to hurt his pocket.
Well,
he's going to affect change if you hurt his pocket. And there's something that y'all just touched on. Sam, you brought it up. This is the last thing I wanted to add to the part right here is that something's missing in the crowd atmosphere too, as far as how much they're charging.
Yes, yesterday was boring.
Yeah, they're charging insane amounts of money for tickets, and it's just not bringing the right kind of people into the stadium. Look, the right kind of people, I want to be clear about this because Tennessee fans deserve to go get to watch a damn football game if they want to. If you can afford it, go ahead. But I didn't go this year because I sure as hell couldn't afford to go all the way out there. Yeah, to go I did it for years, man. Go all the way out there, pay the money for the hotel, pay the money for the tickets, pay the money for the liquor, for the more liquor, and then the food, and then to watch them lose the way that they've been losing. I wasn't going to do it. And hey, fair weather or not, I don't care. You know, I did it for years. I spent more money in that stadium in that city than I care to remember. But
well, I'm right there with you. I was full on planning going to the Vanderbilt game. Like I literally had it set in stone that I was going to the Vanderbilt game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to the point. I'm like, man,
yeah.
Once they lost that Oklahoma game,
yeah,
I'm like, the way they lost it, I don't want to go. Yeah, I don't want to spend $450 for ticket and then hotel room and gas between West Tennessee and back. Like I just
and they had the camera panning over the stadium multiple times. That was embarrassing to me to start. I usually listen to the games, but I watched that last night because I really wanted to see what was going on with the Vanderbilt fans. The fact that there were so many Vanderbilt fans there in the first place pissed me off to start. So let's get that out right. And then the second thing is there's Tennessee fans sitting there with their thumb up their nose, not doing anything, looking like this, the Tennessee look, the golly, I wish I had a paper bag for my face right now, like giving that look instead of getting into it. That's your job when you're there, But
to be fair,
to
be fair to them, the crowd atmosphere is most important on defense. Mm-hmm. When your defense is about to give up 10 yards of play, what's the point in ruining your voice?
That's a good
Vanderbilt at one point, I think that they had a stretch of plays where they were averaging 11 yards of play. Yeah. They showed the third down differential, and they had only gone for like 8 third downs, and we were 9 of 14 or something at the time. I'm like, well, we're beating them in that. And then it clicked. They're not even getting the third down.
Yeah.
They're just going straight up and down the field. I mean, you heard the crowd in the very beginning of the game, but once they started giving up play after, it just –
that was it.
Man, you can't – as much as I love Tennessee, I would have probably been doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. At some point, it's just there's no return on my effort. Yeah. And the money's crazy. I could afford to go to every game, but it's just it's a waste of money. I'd rather sit at home with it's a lot of money, even for someone even for people that do well, it's still a lot of money to waste.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just it's the main thing is money it just is what it is. It's going up all over the place. It's not just in football games, it's all over the place. Danny White they're making these stadium improvements, even though I haven't seen one improvement yet. It's stuff for high dollar people improvements to where they could go in and sip on a drink and sit there and talk with their business partners and not actually cheer.
Yeah.
And so that's something that that's a whole other thing. But for the average fan, it's taking away the game day atmosphere, and I don't like it. Yeah. I did see where Danny White is thinking about expanding to the stadium as far as seating goes, Now that I get on board for, but there's something that Coach Heupel, Danny White, and the administration needs to come together and say, are we going to do this the right way or not? Are we going to invest in this program and get the roster we need to be able to compete with Georgia and Florida and Alabama? Obviously, Florida is in a bad state right now, but Georgia, Alabama, and LSU and Texas, because we're fixing to start playing Texas more often, year after year, or we're not. Because I'm telling you, it's the coaching staff too. It's not just the players. You got to invest money into that coaching staff too. And this little friend holding hands, let's go around the merry-go-round, friends, coaching staff that we have right now ain't going to cut it. With this schedule we got coming on next year. So I asked Big Mike, I asked Tom, Sam, and I know you kind of answered this, but next year, what's something you want to see to have a drastic improvement as a team going into this offseason and next year? What's something that we have to do?
Yeah, you have to have a fiery defensive coordinator that gets on people's asses. It's been mentioned, but Golish, and he was a firebrand person. There wasn't this little wish-washy, even the press conferences, the reporters asked no questions. He doesn't give any answer. Like you need. I don't know what the direction of this program is. I don't know what they're trying to achieve.
That's spot on.
And that's a bad spot to be in too.
But if you got a great defensive coordinator, you went out in the portal, you got some big old safeties, hard-hitting safeties. Ricky Gibson and Ty Redmond should be back. The linebacker, we do have a lot of talent at linebacker. I think they're out of position a lot, but you go get some huge defensive tackles, a couple guys on the end. You could have a really good team next year.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll have a lot of the offensive line back, and hopefully they'd play better. They regressed over the season. How that's even possible is beyond me.
Yeah,
I don't know how you start out against Georgia, giving up nothing, no pressure at all against their big dudes, and then you just get worse and worse. But
that's a fact. That's a fact.
I know what it is. It's predictability that on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
and doing something that we're not good at. Wide zone is not a part of our offensive scheme. We should not be running wide zone. Don't get me wrong. I get the reason why you have to do it, but it's not a streak. Every time, besides I can count on a single hand, we probably ran wide zone about 25 times this year. I could count on the single hand how many times it was successful and not tackled for loss. Like it's just putting your team in the run game, especially. Our pass game, I thought they were good enough this year to let Joey Aguilar and wide receivers have a great year like they did. The running game faltered tremendously. Now you can say a little bit of that was because of the success of the pass game, but a little bit of it is because of the scheme in which we ran the ball. And I wish we had seen more of what we did last week, and that's running straight downhill and not this wide stuff. So continue on, Sam. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, I would actually rather see them roll with George McIntyre next year and return to a more run-based offense. Load up on spit.
I'd take praise on Brandon.
Save the money on save them. A transfer QB is going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, no doubt.
Take that money, get a couple safeties, get another cornerback, get some big old defensive tackles, stuff the run. Not these 270-pound dudes. We have a lot of star rating on that defensive side.
Yeah,
they don't look big.
No, they're outmatched.
They don't get any push.
Yeah.
And you're losing the guys that were productive. Dominic Bailey, Bryson Eason, Moy, Joseph, they're all gone.
Themselves out of the play so many times last night. But yeah, not to get back. Yeah.
Even without coaching, how does the player not understand I'm constantly upfield and he's by me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't after the second. That's what I don't get with some of our defensive players.
Should have learned that in high school.
You got to coach yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
How is turn time crashing inside, letting the guy get us? I mean, it's just, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like when you're playing golf, you hit 3 shots right. The next hole, you aim up, aim left.
There was something that happened after the Georgia loss that this is just my opinion. I think Josh Heupel screwed around at the end of that game. We had a timeout and 20-some seconds left, and we were inside their 40-yard line. And when a play like the false start and you start dicking around, excuse me, I didn't mean to say it like that. When you start around, yeah,
that's what it
when
was.
You start screwing around and your team has a sense that you shouldn't have done that, coach, and it blew something. Look, it may be fair, it may be unfair, it may be real. I may be imagining this. But there was something that happened at the end of that Georgia game that was not able to be overcome the rest of the year. And the only good thing that comes from starting a new season is that if you can put it behind you and everybody grows together, everybody's a year older. We get some guys that return because they love Tennessee, Arian Carter, Deshaun Bishop. We got some young bucks coming up. I'm excited about the recruiting class. If they can put that piss out of their mouth and just be like, hey, look, let's do this thing. Let's do this schedule and play this schedule and beat their tails into the dirt and just put it all behind us in year 6, then let's do it. And as a fan, I'm going to say, hold on for the ride, because let's go. You know, that would be the greatest thing since sliced bread. But
you made a really good point that I've thought all year long.
Yeah.
This team has an uncanny ability to turn one mistake into 10.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If Braylon Staley doesn't muff that punt against Mississippi State, I'm convinced we beat them by about 27 points.
27, yep.
You missed the kick against Georgia, automatic loss. David Sanders, for whatever reason, doesn't block his guy against Oklahoma. You'd have gone up 14-0. The game would have been over, but no.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, not this year.
It's a series
makes a mistake, and then the next Joey's pressing. He's throwing up to anyone. It's just crazy. I mean, almost every game has been that way. And ironically, the House of Horrors in the Swamp is the only game that didn't happen, which we got kind of lucky on a couple things. But even this game, you know, Heupel gets no respect from the referees in his own house. They miss a pass interference on the first drive. They call an offensive face mask, which you almost never see.
Yeah.
Even if it is in your own building, that doesn't get called.
Yeah.
And then they dare to call rough in the pass. That game was over as soon as that stuff happened.
Yep. That's what I said earlier in the show. But yeah, hey guys, great show. I know all 4 of us could keep going on and on and on and on because we're just so passionate. Big Mike, I'm gonna let you get the final say before we break it down and close out the show. To end this year, obviously with the bowl game, we still got the bowl game, got the Gator Bowl. What do you want to see in our final game?
I just want to see players play like they want to play for Tennessee.
Yes.
Like they want to be there. I mean, as simple as that.
No, I'm right there with you, man. I think
Players
all
that actually
4
care.
of us are on the same boat.
That brings a lot along with it too. If you want to be there, it brings the kind of effort that I could say I want to see, or it could bring the kind of dedication that Coach Rice would say he wants to see. Mm-hmm. It could bring the kind of, technical efficiency that Sam might say he would. If you want to play for Tennessee, man, that's like an all-encompassing thing. You want to be on that field. You want to be wearing the orange. Yeah,
no doubt. So, hey, from Michael, from Tom, from Sam, we appreciate y'all for coming on. I know Sam come on kind of late. Join the group. Joey will be will give his voice at displeasure on a basketball show here soon when we can get that going. Guys, we appreciate y'all. Lastly, go follow us on Rocky Top Sports Talk on Facebook. Go follow us at Rocky Top Talks 1 on X, and we share every time we go live on both of those platforms. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe on here. It helps the show. Get that thumbs up smashed, and we're just 4 guys that love talking Tennessee football, want to see them succeed. We're not going to sell for mediocrity. We're going to be open and honest about our takes about Tennessee football, and we appreciate y'all again. And with that being said, y'all have a blessed day, and go Big Orange.
Go Vols.
Go Big Orange.
Go Vols.
I'm on God time, what you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? What you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? What you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? God time, we don't never waste. We don't never waste.